Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you don't know me, I'm Beng Huang. For most of my previous videos regarding happiness, I provide mental approaches that we can take to attain happiness and satisfaction. However, in today's video, slightly different than the previous ones, we're going to look at a talk by Amy Cuddy, a social psychologist, author, and public speaker called Your Body Language May Shape Who You Are, in which she introduces us to how power posing can boost our confidence and change the way we feel about ourselves. And make sure to stay to the end of this video for different power poses to those in her talk that you can do to boost your morale and motivation. Let's dive right into it. To start with, Cuddy states, as one way to communicate, people's body language is what we always focus on, and something that we use to interpret others' thoughts, personalities, and behaviors, which may significantly affect our decision-making, such like should we hire them or should we date them, merely based on their physical language. Albeit, concurrently as we're paying so much attention to others' body language and assume what it may possibly mean, we seem to really think of the effects of our own physical language on ourselves. To which the psychologist argues, not only appears that our nonverbal expressions could influence our feelings, but it can also indicate how we're feeling at the moment, which is closely related to power and dominance. That is, Cuddy states, apparent in animals, especially in primates and humans, it is shown that the more powerful the individual is feeling, the more they will open up and the more space they will occupy. Whereas we're not feeling so confident and powerful, we tend to close ourselves up and become visibly smaller. Furthermore, the co-author of the book, Leadership Present, says our nonverbals seem to be affected by our gender. As from our experience at teaching at a competitive business school, students who were more confident and eager to participate had appeared to sit in more open-up postures and were mostly male, compared to those that didn't, who were, on the other hand, primarily women. As Cuddy argues that women are chronically less confident than men. In addition, this is actually what led Cuddy to investigate whether or not our nonverbals change the way we think about ourselves. And surprisingly, it is evident through the results of numerous experiences that our physical language does influence our emotions. For example, holding a pen in our mouth causing us to smile does make us feel happier, and purposely opening up ourselves physically does increase our confidence. Hence, based on her research, she concluded that beyond having the ability to change our body through our minds, our bodies are equally capable of changing our minds. On top of that, besides being more assertive, optimistic, and bold, powerful people are also shown to have higher levels of testosterone and lower levels of the stress hormone cortisol, as in the case of strong company leaders. To test it out herself, the 49-year-old psychologist took the chance to examine the effectiveness of power poses, the power poses that make you feel powerful, through 2 experiments. At the end of both studies, it was found that high power poses do have the ability to make us feel prouder of ourselves, as well as to increase our testosterone and decrease our cortisol levels. Lastly, to sum up, though some may claim that doing power poses is fake and it makes them feel like an imposter, Cuddy says we don't have to fake it till we make it, but fake it till we become it. And this is even more true after she told the audience her own story, in which she went from not believing that she could do it to believing that she can do it, along with the sentence, quote, "Tiny tweaks can lead to big changes." First and foremost, I would like to say that what may initially appear to be an ordinary talk that provides practical solutions to resolve our confidence issues was suddenly changed during the last 5 minutes of the talk, in which Cuddy told the audience the story of how she went from not believing that she could do it to believing that she can do it, while realizing that she didn't just do it, but she also became it. And this, I feel, is remarkably inspiring, encouraging, and empowering. Hence, after listening to her touching story, I think not only is Cuddy suggesting that if we believe in ourselves, we can do it, But more than that, she is demonstrating the art of compound effect, which is what I'd like to share with you today. For those of you who don't know what compound effect is, here I have briefly summarized it for you. It is the concept of which one is able to achieve their goals through small, consistent actions over a long period of time. Additionally, and with regard to what Cuddy mentioned, I'd argue that before we can even start to have faith in ourselves and initiate our process of the compound effect, we just have to start doing some action. That's to say, without making our first step, it is just seemingly impossible for us to think, oh, things are going to be great afterwards and I can do it. Because before then, we're only going to be trapped by our own self-created narrative and thus struggle to step out our comfort zone. Therefore, it is merely when we pull ourselves together and start to take action, would we feel that what we fear in our minds is solely a terrible exaggeration of what is actually happening in reality, and to essentially push ourselves forward and defeat those negative thoughts and feelings that are blocking our way. Further, more than solely taking action to break through our negative mindset, to be more specific, what is equally important is to trust and believe in ourselves as well as our process. Yes, at some point through our journey, we might feel discouraged or disheartened and feel frustrated and disappointed in ourselves. However, we should simply see those as part of the process. While we are aware of the fact that it is terribly hard to succeed without facing any type of obstacle or difficulty, those challenges that we face are not here to stop us from reaching for our goals, but are means for us to improve and prove to ourselves that we are more capable than we think we are. Moreover, during our progress, it is also fairly easy for most of us to feel that we're not growing or improving. Nonetheless, it is during those times that we should look back to the time when we just started. Then we will know how far we have come and how much we have grown. With this mindset, over time and numerous rounds of practice, even if our improvements are not that obvious, we will grow, achieve, and become the person who we have always wanted to be. Finally, as mentioned at the beginning of this video, here are some additional power poses that you can do to boost morale and level up your spirit. So feel free to take a screenshot or share with your friends and family and try them out. That's for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in learning more about the compound effect, check out this video here, where I explain to you the parts that you should be careful of when reaching for your goals and chasing your dreams. Also, don't forget to smash the like button, turn on notifications, comment below, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. That's for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.